The disciples and apostles of Jesus undoubtedly led challenging lives, and their deaths were far from peaceful. Ancient traditions detailing the deaths of Jesus's apostles, despite their variations, almost unanimously agree that they met tragic ends. Anyone investigating how each apostle died would encounter gruesome accounts, each story more horrific than the last, including tales of crucifixion, stoning, flaying, beating, beheading, and more. In this video, you'll learn about the deaths of the 12 disciples and apostles of Jesus, including Apostle Matthias, who succeeded Judas Iscariot, and Paul, the last of the Bible's apostles. Before we delve into the specifics of each apostle's death, it's important to note that the Bible only provides details about the deaths of 2 apostles. The rest of our knowledge comes from ancient Christian traditions. Some of these traditions were recorded in writings from shortly after the apostolic era. While some are well documented by ancient historians and church fathers, others appear to be mere legends from early Christianity. It's crucial to understand that even the most reliable traditions cannot be equated with biblical texts. Though intriguing and helpful for understanding the early church's historical context, these traditions are not part of the Bible. Discussing the deaths of Jesus's apostles is complex because ancient traditions offer varying accounts, often blending historical facts and characters. Here, I will strive to present the most widely accepted historical theological views. The death of James, son of Zebedee. James, the son of Zebedee, is the only apostle whose death is documented in the New Testament, besides Judas Iscariot. He was the first apostle to be martyred during the Jewish persecution of early Christians instigated by King Herod Agrippa I. Acts of the Apostles, chapter 12, tells us that Herod Agrippa killed James by the sword around 44 AD, indicating he was likely beheaded. The death of Apostle Andrew. According to tradition, Andrew, Peter's brother, was killed in Greece, in the Roman province of Achaia, specifically in Patras. After converting the local proconsul's wife, Andrew was crucified on an X-shaped cross, not considering himself worthy to die in the same manner as Jesus. This type of cross is now known as St. Andrew's Cross. The death of Apostle Philip. The accounts of Philip's death are confusing, as they often mix him up with Philip the Evangelist, a deacon in the Jerusalem church. Some traditions say he was crucified, others say stoned, and some claim both. The most accepted tradition suggests he was killed by crucifixion and stoning in Phrygia, Asia Minor. The death of Apostle Bartholomew. Bartholomew, also known as Nathanael, is shrouded in mystery with little reliable information about his life after Jesus' ministry. Traditions claim he was flayed alive, crucified, whipped to death, or beheaded, after spreading the gospel in various regions. The death of Apostle Thomas. Legends and ancient traditions offer various accounts of Thomas's death. Some claim he was a missionary in Syria and India, where he was supposedly impaled with spears by local religious followers in southern India. The death of Apostle Simon the Zealot. Christian tradition suggests Simon the Zealot was martyred at an old age during Emperor Trajan's reign. Accounts differ, with some saying he was crucified, others that he was burned alive, and some claim he was sawn in half. The death of Apostle Judas Thaddeus. Traditions state that Judas Thaddeus was a missionary throughout the Roman Empire and was martyred in various ways, such as by spears, bludgeoning, or beheading with an axe. Some accounts link his death with Simon the Zealot, suggesting both were killed by a mob in Mesopotamia. The death of Apostle Matthew. Matthew, a former tax collector, has many accounts regarding his death. The most accepted tradition is that he was martyred by a sword in Ethiopia. The death of Apostle James, son of Alphaeus. There is confusion surrounding the death of James, son of Alphaeus, also known as James the Less. Some traditions mistakenly conflate him with other biblical figures named James. Ancient accounts suggest he preached in Egypt and was crucified. The death of Apostle Peter. Peter's martyrdom is well documented by church fathers, who affirm he was crucified in Rome around 68 AD during Nero's persecution. Tradition holds that Peter was crucified upside down at his request, feeling unworthy to die as Jesus did. The death of Apostle John. John, the last surviving apostle, endured severe persecution and torture. An ancient account claims he survived being thrown into boiling oil. John was later exiled to Patmos, where he received and recorded the revelation. He eventually returned to Ephesus, living to an old age and dying of natural causes. The death of Judas Iscariot. Judas was the first of the 12 disciples to die, not through martyrdom but by suicide. After betraying Jesus, he hanged himself. Acts records that his body eventually split open, spilling his intestines. The death of Apostle Matthias. Matthias, who replaced Judas Iscariot, has varied death accounts. Some traditions say he was crucified in the Caucasus, others that he was beheaded in Judea, and some claim he died naturally in Jerusalem. The death of Apostle Paul. Paul, the last apostle, was not one of the 12 but was chosen by the risen Christ to preach to the Gentiles. According to reliable accounts, Paul was beheaded in Rome around 67 AD during Nero's reign, in the same persecution that martyred Peter. In conclusion, the apostles' dedication to the gospel and their willingness to sacrifice their lives highlight their commitment to Christ. Jesus spoke of the cost of discipleship, and these men embraced that cost, renouncing their lives to exalt Jesus' name across nations. If you enjoyed learning about the deaths of Jesus' apostles, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share your thoughts in the comments.